Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker and trainer, and I help people find their voice and learn to use it. Meaning, if you ever have to make a presentation or you know that you need to kick up your skills in presenting, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I'm also a conference speaker, so if you are part of an organization that's having an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, once again, please reach out, debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of books on the market. You can just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I've got some great books for public speaking, how to win an audience, and then I have put these radio shows into book form with my book called Encouragement for Your Life. There's 3 volumes. You can pick up one or all of them. I've got a great theme today. It's from the missionary Hudson Taylor. And he said this: first, it's impossible, then difficult, then done. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for staying with me for these next few minutes. Let's get started with today's show. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes I cannot get my act together to get things done. Have you ever looked at a task and thought, wow, that's impossible? And then you stop. Or you start to find another way to get the job done, and then you realize it's not really impossible, it's just hard. And then you keep working, and the difficult isn't as bad as you thought. Now, it's still hard, but before you know it, the job that was out of range, that was too hard to do, you couldn't figure it out, well, now it's complete. Finished. Done. Yay for you. I was reading a book a while back I really like about prayer, and I came across a quote from the missionary Hudson Taylor, and he said this: first it's impossible, then difficult, and then done. That thought just stuck with me because I gotta say, I think it's true, and it's shown itself to be true in my own life. As I reflect back, I can tell you about, 100 times that I thought a job or a project or an issue was simply impossible. But then circumstances changed and the impossible became possible. Now, it was still difficult, no doubt, but then it was done. So we're heading into, I'm going to call it the holiday season. I know we're a little bit early, but it's coming. And if you go to Costco or anywhere else, they already have Christmas decorations up. So I want to provide a bit of hope in the idea that no matter what you're going through right now, that seems impossible. Friend, if you'll just work through it, even the difficult parts that don't make sense, the hard parts that you can't seem to find the answers to, the lonely hours that try your soul, if you'll just push through the difficulties, I believe you will find yourself on the other side, looking back and marveling how you got to the point of completion. And when you flash back and remember that at one point you thought it was hopeless, I know without a shadow of a doubt you'll be grateful that you pushed through, and today you're still hopeful and moving in the right direction. I'm not sure of the issues that are weighing heavy on your soul today, whether it's your marriage, for which some is hanging by a thread due to one of you having an affair and the other finding out, or in your anger, you've crossed a line from frustration to abuse, and now there is no forgiveness ever coming for what you've done. And in the cold and silent treatment is creating a hollow, empty, lonely life. For some, it's simply a lack of love or desire. The flame's gone, and you're not sure if it's ever coming back, or even if you want it to. And now you wonder if faking for another year is worth it for you, for them, for the kids, the in-laws, the outlaws. It just seems impossible. While that may be how it seems to you right now, I have to think in time, if you want, you'll find a way. You'll make hard decisions to do the right thing, to ask forgiveness and a chance to start over, to try again, to rekindle what you know and who you know is the right one for you and your family. Oh, it'll go slowly, on shaky ground due to lost trust. That's just how life happens. And friend, you can't expect more, but trust regained will prove that it's not impossible. It's just difficult, and over time, well, hopefully over time it will be done. And then you'll sigh with relief when you remember what you might have lost if you hadn't done the impossible, the difficult, which has now led you to this day that is good. Some of you might be worried about your kids who have not turned out as you had hoped for, prayed for, cried for, and you're angry, you're embarrassed, and simply at a loss of what to do. Oh, those kids, they started out so great, and now you hardly recognize them. They're not the sweet kids you remember, the ones you poured your life into so they would be productive, impressive, well-mannered young adults. Man, I gotta say, some of the kids nowadays are disrespectful, angry, and aloof. Still expecting you to feed them, house them, and take care of them, as they treat you with knowing disdain. And it happens so slowly, but then sort of suddenly. And now really the only thing you can do is believe that you trained up those kids in the way they should go, and you pray that they will find their way back to the path and not depart from it. Ah, friend, I know right now it seems impossible. Let me encourage you to tread lightly when it comes to your kids, but please don't give up on them. The world is a hard place for young people nowadays. Many of the kids I work with, they're so talented and smart, but they look around and they see what, quote, everyone else has, end of quote, and they want it. And they want it now, and they want to fit in, and they want others to respect them, and they want to be adults in their little kid's body. They find solace in drinking and some relief in drugs. Escaping the duties of responsibility for many is their goal. Days turn into months and months into years, and one day they will grow up and realize, although they'll never tell you, that they wasted so much time in their drama, in their heads, and their friends. And now they want to settle down and get on with the business of school and life and love. When they were young, life seemed impossible. Then they realized that it was just difficult. And now they can breathe a sigh of relief that they are done with those days. They are ready to fly right and do good, forgetting that they put all those gray hairs on your head. Some listening today are probably worried about their job and finances. Once again, there's more month than money, and there is a pressure to give more and more when you've got less and less. You're working more hours, and you're still struggling to stay financially afloat. You're working harder than your physical body can handle, but you don't dare say a word because you need the paycheck to take care of your family. For some, the pressure of not having a job right now and spending hours looking for work to meet your needs just to get by, and the frustration of how did you ever get to this place to begin with? Because that's not how it's supposed to be. With your skill set, your degree, your ability to work hard and be a great employee, how is it there's not a place for you? Oh, friend, I hear it every day, and it's heartbreaking and seemingly impossible to catch a break. No doubt, it's difficult. Some listening say, Deb, it's almost impossible. It's hard when you have to sell your things at a pawn shop or Craigslist to buy for the kids, the family, and the friends. The financial piece, I will admit, is a lot harder. Impossible, some of you may say. It's certainly difficult. And unless you get your financial house in order, it won't be done anytime soon. You know you need to save more and spend less, but you need to commit to doing it, to be disciplined enough to protect your future. I'm not preaching, I'm just reminding you of what you already know. Friend, you're in control, so you need to take control of your life. For some, it may mean night school or a little more training for a short time to put you in a better financial position. Because it's not impossible. Yes, it's difficult, but you can get it done. Why? Because you're smart, you're able, and so many have a hopeful attitude. With that, my friend, you are unstoppable. So let me back up and remind you what Hudson Taylor said, that at first it seems impossible, then it will be difficult, but then it will be done. Please hear me when I tell you that at some point, all your struggles and tears and pain and hurt and anger and frustration will be done. Finished, over, and you will have come through on the other side victorious. All the thrashing around to work and rework your problems to find the answers will pay off after the anger and tears subside, and then you will clearly see a path forward. That is, only if you don't give up. and you keep thinking and working and praying for the answers to come. Impossible at first, I understand. Difficult to say the least, but then, out of the clear blue, it will be done, finished and complete. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't tell you it's not going to be easy, but it will be done. And let me remind you that how you deal with the ending, well, that pretty much tells you and everyone else around you a lot about your character and how you handle the aftermath. I'm well known for saying when it comes to politics, how you lose, candidate, determines if you ever come back. Not saying that you're headed for a loss, mind you, but I do want to simply remind you that your actions throughout this process of dealing with the impossible, then the difficult, will be a determining factor in the final outcome. So friends, be steady in the storms of life. Be hopeful as you seek your future. Be kind as you deal with yourself and others. And be grateful for the lessons learned that you can teach others when you tell them that at first it does seem impossible, and then it will be difficult, and then it will be done. Without a doubt, a hard lesson to hear, a hard lesson to do. Friends, I'm preaching to myself as I speak to you, because I will admit some of the projects I've gone through, I'm like, wow, I can't do it. And then I'm like, well, I don't really have a choice, so I need to kind of slowly get through it. And then, believe it or not, I'm in the middle, and I see a little light at the end of the tunnel, and I just decide to keep going. It's hard. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you today. But what I know is that you're people of goodwill, and I know that you feel a responsibility, but don't let it overwhelm you. Take it one step at a time. I'm Deb Sofield. This is Encouragement for Your Life. Stay tuned. Let me take a quick break. I'm going to come back with some ways to help you get started when you don't feel like it. Hi friends, Deb Sofield here. I'm a national speaker and an executive speech and presentations coach. I've been in the battlefield of politics and business for over 30 years. I know and understand how the game works. In today's marketplace, you don't have a choice. We're in the media age of Twitter, blogs, Facebook, and 24-hour news cycles. Either you move quickly and decisively to define your product, your company, or yourself, or others will define you. You can't afford to miss the mark, because the public won't give you a second chance and the media is unforgiving, and YouTube will replay your remarks until you've been ground into dust. Whether it's crafting your message to protect you or your company, or putting you on camera to answer the questions that will resonate with reporters and the public, or preparing you for an interview, let me help you be successful. I'm Deb Sofield. Find me online at debsofield.com. That's debsofield.com. I came across an excellent article in Entrepreneur magazine. It's by Rose Leadham. And the headline is, Practice these simple tips to start freeing up your time and getting more done during the day. So I'm keeping with my theme. At first it seems impossible, and then doable, and then done. So here we go. Sometimes we wish there were more hours in a day. Unfortunately, we can't control time. But what we can control is our productivity. Being cautious with how we spend our time is vital to getting more done during the day. If you want to be proactive or more productive, here's a few things that you can do that will help you. Number one, I don't like this one, I'll just be honest with you, but it's like wake up earlier. I am not a morning person, but if I set my alarm, I get up a little earlier, I'm surprised how much more I get done during the day. Here's the article. Even if you don't identify as a morning person, you can still become one. By setting your alarm an hour earlier than usual, don't hit the snooze button, you'll be able to get an extra hour of uninterrupted, peaceful work time. Several studies say waking up early to productivity and success is in your future. Early risers have an advantage. They have a little extra work time, more optimistic in general. Primarily because I start with coffee earlier. That's just my own 2 cents there. All right, number 2, make a daily to-do list. I got to tell you, I do this all the time because otherwise I sit around going, wonder what I should be doing, so I have to make a list. All right, they say create a daily list of realistic tasks that you can tackle every day. Keep it simple. Your tasks don't need to be a big, massive job that'll take hours to complete. If you need to fold the laundry, add it to the list. Need to call the doctor? Add it to the list. These micro tasks will not only help you get more done day to day, they will help you reach your bigger goals also. The next point is do the hardest tasks first. It's best to get those dreaded tasks out of the way first. After getting that big chunk of difficulty out of the way, the rest of your day is freed up to complete everything else. Not only will you feel better, you'll be more productive. The next point is clear off your desk. As the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. That can be true for staying focused. So, try to take a few minutes before work or after work to clear off your desk and create a clean workspace so you will focus and avoid distractions. Trash what you don't need, file what you do. I like the next point, which is set up a system. Having a system of organization will give you a clear and consistent idea of all the projects you have going on. This inventory of commitments will bring clarity, focus, and control, and it'll help you know what's most important. And to that point, you need to focus on one thing at a time. Focus on getting one project finished before switching to the next. See, people think they're getting more done by multitasking, but in reality, going back and forth from task to task really isn't beneficial. In fact, trying to perform two tasks simultaneously can actually take a toll on productivity, a study by the American Psychological Association reveals. While most of us are guilty of talking on the phone while typing out an email, it's not the little tasks that deter productivity, but the larger ones. The one I like is start by saying no. Sometimes that little word is the hardest to say, but my friends, it is okay to say it. It's important to manage people's expectations. So if you can't take something on and give it 100%, listen, maybe you don't need to do it at all. The next point is one everybody tells you and none of us do. Get enough sleep. This one's a given, but you'd be surprised how few people actually get enough sleep every night. According to the National Sleep Foundation, the average adult needs 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Are you getting that much? I doubt it. But here's the key. Try to go to bed a little earlier. Sleep can make or break you and your exhaustion and your ability to get things done. I think we can all agree it's easier to keep our emails organized instead of letting them get out of hand. Seeing 100 unread messages in your inbox, well, that'll give you some anxiety. But it's also important you don't overlook important messages. So keep that inbox clean by responding, filing, drafting, or deleting the email after you've opened it. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that sometimes you just have to turn off social media. Take a break from the hustle and bustle of the outside world and avoid Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. They'll only distract you. For people who need social media for work, just make sure you've logged out of personal accounts so you don't get pulled off task. But remember, you do not need to be tied to your phone or your Apple Watch. Enjoy the people you're having lunch with. People are often surprised how I leave my phone in the car or in my purse simply because if I'm having lunch with you, I need to focus and pay attention on you, not constantly looking at my little watch and having to tap it off or go digging in my purse for my phone. Most of us would do well to schedule chunks of uninterrupted time. See, once you get yourself focused, it's easier to stay focused. Now listen, that's easier said than done, I get it. But a helpful way to make sure you keep your mind on task is to clear out specific uninterrupted time where you can focus solely on the project at hand. Whether that means turning off your phone, closing your email, create an environment where you're free to focus on one thing. According to a study by Microsoft, it takes the brain 15 minutes to refocus after switching our attention to something else. So, if you're constantly being interrupted, it's going to take you a long time to get your work done. The next point I do like, clear your mind before going to the office. Take a couple minutes when you wake up to clear your mind because it is very powerful and it recharges and prepares you for the challenges that lie ahead. I know many of you probably wake up and you say a prayer and then you get going in your day. It's just good to have that break so your brain can recharge. And then if we can, we should eliminate unnecessary meetings. If you do have an in-person meeting, schedule for about 30 minutes only, so it's fast and to the point. When people feel crunched on time, they're kind of more eager to get things done quickly. This next one I've had to learn on my own, and I've just had to put it in practice, and that is make 1-minute decisions. If you want to get more done during your day, you've got to work fast. So what you do is you cut down the amount of time it takes to make a decision. I must say, I've been cleaning out a house and I just have to make decisions. Otherwise, it just sits here. And I don't need any more stuff. And so it's either going to Goodwill or Miracle Hill, or I'm putting it not in the attic because I've already cleaned out the attic. I have to make a decision. It's been hard for me to put this discipline in practice, but I gotta say, I really am happy with the outcome because things are put in their place. If you're like me, you need to cut out the small stuff. Ever wonder why Mark Zuckerberg wears the same thing every day? Okay, I haven't ever really wondered about it, but they say the reason he does this is to reduce the amount of time he spends on making small decisions in order to make room for important ones. When asked about his seriously boring wardrobe, he explained, "I really want to clear my life to make it so I have to make as few decisions as possible." I'm pretty sure he got that idea from Steve Jobs. He was known for wearing blue jeans and a black sweater. When you think about it, it does kind of make sense. Rather boring, but makes sense. I love the next one. Eat throughout the day. Rather than indulging in 3 large meals throughout the day, try grazing. According to Harvard Business Review, spikes and drops in blood sugar are detrimental to productivity. Eating small, frequent meals throughout the day, for some, will help stabilize your blood sugar, keep your energy levels consistent, and ultimately help you add a few more hours to your week. Maybe a few more pounds, but at least you'll get things done. And then, of course, we need to make sure that we have a routine. From waking up at the same time every day to getting in a daily workout, routines are important because they don't let you waste your brain power creating a new schedule. While it may be difficult at first, once you get past those tricky first few weeks of creating new habits, I believe you'll find higher productivity levels and extra hours tacked onto your weeks. According to a study, people who had routines had more control over their work and worked more efficiently than people who lacked a daily routine. That's a lot of information, but it came from Entrepreneur Magazine and by Rose Leadham. I liked it. I just thought it had a good few ideas for us to share. Now, I'm going to admit the next article is rather snarky. I've tried to clean it up, but I'm not sure I can. So let me just finish with this one. Your procrastination is killing you. 7 possible reasons you can't get things done by Daniel Wallen, as found in Lifehack. So they say if you can't get anything done, you need to confront these harsh truths that reveal why you procrastinate. Number 1, you let distractions interrupt you constantly. I like to emphasize the word let. People like to complain about how distracted they are, and most of them aren't willing to accept that they are responsible for that reality. No one's holding a gun to your head and demanding you answer texts the second you receive them, or accept more responsibilities than you can possibly handle. If you feel overwhelmed, you need to deal with the fact that it is your fault. I don't say this to judge you, because I've been guilty of these things myself, but you and I need to accept personal responsibility. If you can't do it, don't bother listening to the rest of this article. But really stay with me, okay? That was in the article I was reading. Number 2, you brag about your ability to multitask. Focus is a skill that's in short supply in the information age. Everyone is so obsessed with doing more things that they never stop to consider the fact that it might be more productive to do fewer things more effectively. Next, you think long and hard, but you don't do much. Planning is a prerequisite for long-term success. The best plan in the world is worthless if you don't take action. The next one, you blame your problems on other people. Come on, you know that's not going to work. It's you, people. Get your act together. The next one, you obsess over stuff you have no control over. But obsessing over things makes you feel better, said nobody anywhere. So stop. Don't fall into this trap. It's just going to lead to regret. Some of you have got to learn to say no. While it's great to have friends you love hanging out with, you will not achieve great things if you spend your time with other people all the time not doing your work. And then the last one I love. You listen to articles like this, but you don't apply them. So the author says he loves to read. It gives him the opportunity to discover new thoughts and ideas. However, none of this will work if you're not willing to implement the material in your life. Okay, I admit on the snarky side, but I did kind of like it. So that was Reasons You Can't Get Anything Done by Daniel Wallen. But listen, I know you get things done. I know you work hard, and I want to encourage you to keep on keeping on because I think it's important. Because friends, at first it's impossible, then difficult, and then done. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, if you'll put your mind to it, it will be done and done well. All right, friends, Deb Sofield, this has been Encouragement for Your Life. Join me next week, same time, same place. Have a good one, everybody.